Hey guys, it's Kyle Thompson again with eXp Realty, bringing you another monthly market update, and this week we're going to be covering single-family dwellings. Let's jump right into it. All right, so at a glance, we had 219 new listings, 93 new sales. The average list price was $832,400. The average sale price was $804,897. The average sale price to list ratio was 96.81. Average days on market was just shy of 43. And we ended the month with an inventory of 488 units. So as always, let's take a look at the market conditions first. And I like to use both the monthly supply of inventory method as well as the sales to new listing ratio, as I find using both methods gives a more complete picture of what's going on in the market. So with that said, last month using the monthly supply of inventory method, we came in at 5.7 months, which puts us into a neutral market, but starting to border on a buyer's market. If we use the sales to new listing ratio instead, we came in at 42%, which once again is a neutral market, but bordering on a buyer's market. Now, if we jump over and take a look at the active inventory, we see that last month, for the second month in a row, new listings continued to decline, which is somewhat typical this time of the year as people are enjoying the nice weather. However, new sales also fell about 20%, I believe that is, and expireds ticked up from 33 up to 45. That's the highest amount of expireds we've had going back to December, so it does kind of seem as if things are slowing down. However, the benchmark price for, the price for a benchmark home in Kamloops did rise $6,100 from $652,300 up to $658,400. Now, let's take a look at the end of month inventory. Last month, we ended the month with an inventory of 488, which is the highest this time of year going back to 2016 and is about 12% above the 10-year average of 437. If we take a look at new listings instead, we see that so far year to date, we've had 1,369 new listings, which is pretty well on pace for the 10-year average. We're currently about 1% off of the 10-year average of 1,358. Now, if we take a look at units sold, we see that so far year to date, we've had 644 single-family dwellings sell, which is the lowest going back to 2020, and obviously that year didn't come off to a good start. So it continues to be an abysmal year for detached home sales. Currently, we are sitting around 22% below the 10-year average of 826. Now, if we jump over and take a look at the sales dashboard, starting off with average sale price, this table is measuring full year over full year changes. So when looked at that way, the average price for homes is actually up about 3.77% when looked at in aggregate. Currently, the most expensive areas of town are Sun Peaks, Tobiano, and Knutsford, all with an average sale price of $1 million or more, ranging up to $1.4 million, whereas the cheapest areas of town are Paul Lake, Monty Lake, and Red Lake, all with an average sale price of $500,000 or less. Now, let's take a look at the sale to list price ratio. So all this is a measure of how much properties are selling below the list price on average. And it's a good proxy for how much negotiating room there is when you are the buyer. With that said, last month we fell about 0.9%, meaning that there is actually more negotiating room when you are the buyer. So once again, kind of pointing towards a slowing down of the market. Now let's take a look at sales by sub area. And once again, this table is measuring full year over full year. When looked at that way, sales are actually up, oddly enough, but just because last year was also an abysmal year and just the timing of it. But sales are actually up 6.7% in aggregate, with Brock and North Kamloops being the hottest areas of town currently. I think that's mostly just due to the lower sale price on average when buying in those areas. Finally, let's take a look at how long it's taking properties to sell, starting off with the 10-year. So far year to date, it's taken an average of 43 days for detached homes to sell, which is about, 4% within 4% of the 10-year average of 45. If we take a look at the trailing 12 months instead, we see that in July, the average days on market rose 5 days from June, rising from 38 up to 43. However, we are still about 12% below the 12-month average of 49. And finishing things off, let's take a look at it by sub-area. Once again, this is measuring full year over full year, and when looked at that way, in aggregate, it's essentially been flat. We're within 1% of where we were this time last year, and currently the fastest areas of town to sell are Westmont, Brock, Aberdeen, Batch, and North Cam, all with an average days on market of 40 days or less, whereas the slowest areas of town to sell are Red Lake, Sun Peaks, and Tobiano, all with an average days on market of 89 days plus, so essentially 90 days plus. So to sum things up, sales for detached homes continue to be very slow and inventory is building. While currently we are in a neutral market, if this trend continues, I wouldn't be surprised to see us move into a buyer's market here in the next couple of months. And this is all happening with the backdrop of the Bank of Canada lowering rates twice over the last, 2.5 months. So while that is providing some relief for existing homeowners who have adjustable rate mortgages, it doesn't really seem to be stimulating the market in terms of buying new properties. Anecdotally, I have also seen a lot more subject to sale offers coming in, which is indicative again of the market slowing down. Now, that doesn't mean that all property types are slowing down, particularly detached homes in like affordable price ranges that have suites in the basement. Those are still moving quite quickly, but in terms of the other general market, it does seem to be slowing down some. As always, I hope you're continuing to get some value out of these market updates. If you are, consider liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if you ever have any input on things that need to be more thoroughly explained, or if you would like things added to the market updates, please feel free to leave your suggestions in the comment section below, and I'll get to them as soon as I'm able. Thanks for watching.